Okay. Is everybody ready? Okay. I'd like to call to order the consolidated meeting of the City Council, the Community Development Commission, the successor agency to the Redevelopment Agency, and the Buena Sanitation District. We have two excused absences this evening, Mayor Ritter and Councilmember Aguilera. City Clerk Killian will take the roll.
The record will reflect that all members are present with the exception of Mayor Ritter and Councilmember Aguilera.
Thank you. Councilmember Rigby, would you please lead us in the pledge?
If you would please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the Brown Act, I'd like to announce that as a result of convening simultaneous meetings, the members of the Buena Sanitation District will receive compensation of $147.75 for the district meeting pursuant to Buena Sanitation District Ordinance 2006-1. City Manager Johnson, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'd like to pull items D1, the fiscal year 13-14 operating budget, and D2, which is the capital improvement program and budget. Since we do not have a full council this evening, it's more appropriate to bring these items forward at a later date when we do have a full council. So we'll be bringing these items back on June 11th for the meeting for discussion items. I'd also like to mention that ordinances require a 4/5 vote of the City Council. So since both Mayor Ritter and Councilman Aguilera are absent, tonight, item C6, which is changes to the commissions, boards, and committees, and C11, use of city seal and letterhead, if those are passed tonight, those items will return on June 11th for a second reading.
Thank you. There were no closed session items scheduled for this agenda. Now we have a very special time in our meeting where we get to make a special presentation, and we have a certificate to present to Sheryl Tempchin, winner of the People's Choice Award for her artwork, Man with a Bow Tie. Very beautiful. In the recent New Dimensions art exhibit. Is Public Arts Commission Chair Buddy Smith in the audience? If so, would you please join us at the podium? Are there any other Parks Commissioners here tonight? We'd invite you to join us as well. We're going to, as a part of this special award, we're going to present Ms. Tempchin with 4 Moonlight Amphitheater lawn tickets for her choice in the upcoming summer productions. And I'd like the rest of the council to join me at the podium for the presentation and a picture. As Sheryl is leaving, I'm going to mention a side note that I picked out prior to the meeting, that her husband is a song composer and composed the song Peaceful Easy Feeling that was made famous by the Eagles. So thank you, and we hope to see you again. We're moving on to the consent calendar. The recommendations on the consent calendar will be enacted in one motion except for any items pulled for discussion by the public or a city council member. Item C7 has been pulled. Are there any items that the council would like to pull?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the remainder of the consent calendar?
I'll move that we approve the remainder of the consent calendar.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, cast your vote. Okay, now we have a request to speak on item C7 by Chuck Rabel.
Here, you know me, and all I want to mention is that two things about this report. Number one is, if you look on page 5, it says the administrative fees are $4,900 against a $6,900 total. Just seems kind of steep, that's all. The other thing I'd like to mention is we're going to be in the middle of fire season here real quick, and we didn't get the rain we had hoped for this year again, and I would like to see the fire marshal a little more active going after people with these fan palm trees that are a potential Roman candle, and if we can hit people that for cutting their weeds, and I suggest that they use goats to do it. And there are people that have goats here in the area. We also at least could give warnings to people with these ugly fan palm trees that haven't been trimmed in years and years. Thank you.
I might add, Mayor, Council, that along with the 549 notices that were sent out, it wasn't just for straight weeds or what we might think of as weeds, but it's also properties that have had hazardous issues on their property, like different types of trees and canopies like that.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Rabel, maybe we could find out who the goat owners are and they would rent their goats out to these people. It's a win-win. And we could bring in some giraffes for the palm trees. Okay, now, that being said, is there a motion to approve item C7?
I'll move that we approve item C7.
Second.
All in favor, please cast your vote. Okay. I'm new to this, so bear with me, please. Yeah, as mentioned earlier, the discussion items on the budget will come at the next meeting on June 11th, so we'll pass over that one. And now we're on to discussion, and the recommended action is to discuss, well, I'm sorry. I guess we're at oral communications. Wow. I think I missed the mark. Next, we have oral communications. This is a time when members of the public have the opportunity to speak on any item which does not appear on tonight's agenda. You each have 3 minutes to speak. The light bar on the podium will indicate that your time has started with a green light. When the yellow light comes on, you have 30 seconds to wrap up. Please conclude when you see the red light. And our first speaker on oral communications is Chuck Rabel.
We got a quick night tonight. On the budget, since you pulled it, I can talk to it. And I'd like to mention to the new folks on the council that the last council decided that 70% of the programs that serve the community need to be self-funded, that the city would only subsidize up to 30%. With city funds, obviously. And I'd like to see operating statements, and in the interim to the next meeting, I'll put in the request for information to look at daycare for one, to look at the Moonlight, the Wave Water Park, and just to see operating statements, okay? How much did we bring in last year? How much did we pay out? And I'd also like to see a balance sheet for the fiscal year that ends in the end of June with all liabilities included, including CalPERS and all the other things that are on the horizon that the next generation is going to have to pay for. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Alejandro Sanchez.
City Council members, Alejandro Sanchez, member of this community for over 20 plus years. Great concerns that I still having, as you probably know, if you have children. Our school district, Vista Unified School District, is out next week. Our kids are getting out of schools. Unfortunately, we still living in mediocrity here in our city of Vista. We have the worst schools in the whole state of California. Unfortunately, we've been not very so fortunate to have good superintendents other than Joyce Bales. I have nothing against Mr. Coles. I think that his job was very poor and condemned thousands of our children to jails and to the lower pays in our city and all over. Our children are suffering and will continue to suffering because the lack of involvement, the lack of care from our city councils. I've seen all these faces here. I don't see, and I notice the absence of the community. I think they finally get tired of this city council, with the exception of 2 new members that I think that they're very committed to, to find out the real needs of our community, which is great. I already know what the real needs are, and I've been addressing this council for many years, and seems like nothing is going to change, at least for a long while. We continue to have a number of people on the streets, homeless people with a lack of source and the lack of help from these poor, what we call them, nonprofit organizations, who we help them with so much money, and unfortunately we lost sight of them. We do not have nothing to say with these people, even though we give them the money, taxpayers' money. We have no control. We never added those people other than their private auditors. We don't have nothing to say, and they will continue doing business here in our city. And our students at the same time will continue to live them out on the cold, suffering, and will continue to suffer. Next year, it's going to be even tougher.
You need to begin to wrap up.
I believe strongly that nothing is going to change until you're really committed. You're really committed to our children, to our future. And I don't see this, and I haven't seen it in the previous city council members. And hopefully, and I really hopefully that you guys get involved now in education. As far as I know, you never care, and you will continue not to care as long as these new members, take an input and will get involved. It's time to get involved now.
Thank you for your comments. Well, this concludes the items on tonight's agenda, and we'll move to remarks from our city council members. So we'll start with Council Member Rigby.
Thank you. I just want to say what a great strawberry festival we had here in Vista on Sunday. I attended most of the day there, and it was a wonderful event. I don't know for sure, but it seemed like there were a lot more people this year than we've had in previous years, and it was really enjoyable. And I want to say thank you to the people who put that on and the people who attended, and especially for Angels Depot for providing the shuttle service, which was a huge hit, and I appreciated that very much. And then the Memorial Day ceremony that we had here at the Civic Center yesterday was very moving and very well done, and I'm very glad I was able to attend that one. And I just want to say thank you to Mr. Rabel and thank you to Mr. Sanchez for coming here this evening and sharing your thoughts with us. I do appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Councilmember Campbell.
Nothing further to add than what Councilwoman Rigby said about the Strawberry Festival and the Memorial Day event here at City Hall yesterday.
Thank you. And I had the honor last week of getting up early in the morning and joining the Kiwanis Club at 7 to provide Ethel Aerosmith, who turned 100 years old last week, with a proclamation from the city naming last Thursday as Ethel Aerosmith Day. And she was there, bright and active at the age of 100, and so excited to get that proclamation. I was proud to be able to do it on behalf of the city. Her son is Lanny Aerosmith, the former pastor at the Methodist Church here in Vista. And I wanted everybody, there's not too many here, but those of you that are here as you leave, be sure to take special note of the huge American flag that is draped from the side of the building. At the ceremony we had yesterday morning, it was described as one that was at the World Trade Center and has been it's been flying there. Let's see, the flag was flying at the World Trade Center on 9/11. So that's a flag that was on the Trade Center during the destruction, and it has been circulating in the U.S. since then. And Commander Yates of the Vista American Legion Post 365 has been successful in securing it for Vista's Memorial Day event for the past 2 years. We'll have it on display through Flag Day on June 14th. And as I mentioned, we were really proud as a city to host the American Legion and Veterans of Foreign War ceremony yesterday morning here at our fine facility. And as mentioned by our other two council members, the Strawberry Fest, it seemed also to me as one of the biggest, most crowded that I've seen in a number of years. And it was a lot of fun. The strawberries were great, and they were plentiful. My wife and I also attended the Boys and Girls Club Diamond Ball Gala last week on May 18th, along with Patrick and some other city people. Who else was here from the city? I can't remember. Was that it? No. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it was Allie was there. I knew there was somebody else. Thank you, Allie. And Allie, speaking of which, I promised I was going to mention her as one of the runners that came across broke the tape at the finish line at the Strawberry Fest, the 10K. Oh, and that's right, Rick. Yeah, he was faster, but he's he's younger, or I don't know if he's younger or not. He's older. I better shut up while I'm ahead. This coming Saturday, June 1st, the Moonlight Gala will be held at the Moonlight Amphitheater. Tickets can be purchased through the Moonlight Cultural Foundation at www.moonlightfoundation.com. And at this time, I'm going to see if Patrick, our city manager, has anything to add.
Thank you. I have a couple comments. I won't mention the races.
I'm in trouble.
I just wanted to let the council and the public know that we received official notice from the California Department of Housing and Community Development that the city's 2013 to 2021 housing element was found in full compliance, and there was a lot of hard work, many years of work, done in particular by our city planner, Patsy Chow. So wanted to thank Patsy for her efforts, and we won't have to go through this for another 8 years. So it's good news. Want to also give an update that Sandag will be holding a community workshop on the Inland Rail Trail that'll be held here in the Civic Center on June 5th at 5:30 p.m. And this is one of 2 community workshops that's going to be held on the Inland Rail Trail. And so, again, if you need more information, you can go to Sandag's website or the city's website, cityofvista.com, for that. And it was nice to attend the Chamber Strawberry Festival and see all of you there, as well as the Memorial Day event. So thank you.
And before I see if Daryl, our attorney Piper, has anything to add, there were other city employees that I saw come across the race line, the finish line. I just don't remember who they were, but thank you for participating. And City Attorney Piper, do you have anything to add?
Thank you. No, I don't, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. The meeting is now adjourned at 5:53.